Too clever,
but
but
too lazy. Welcome to the first episode of Too Clever, Too Lazy.
too clever, too lazy. Our first episode. Very excited.
Hell yeah. Hope you enjoy it.
I was going to start the podcast off like, oh, this is the podcast where two best friends who are also audio students. But that,
I
and that's the one thing we
graduated.
couldn't even start the podcast. I know. You graduated. And we couldn't
Are
even
you still a student?
start the podcast.
You technically
Yeah,
are.
basically.
Yeah. Well,
We're always, forever, always and forever a student of audio.
student of life.
Exactly. This is the podcast where two best friends who met on a similar journey, a similar path of pursuing a career in audio, right? Something along those lines. And now we're going to talk about
that's a good place to start.
great ideas. Right. Yeah, we're two good friends.
I know.
who
I
started a journey
I thought
together.
it was best
blah, blah, blah.
friends. Now we're good friends.
Oh yeah. You know what? I'm just spitballing here. I don't want to presume. I don't want to be too presumptuous.
We've been friends for like over a decade. I don't want to assume.
Yeah. I don't want to be too presumptuous. But yeah, something along those lines of like, we're two BEST friends who, I guess in the start audio together. And now it's coming into fruition. We're actually using our skills to create this. But what we're actually going to be talking about on this podcast is going to be great ideas, utter nonsense, basically, but great ideas that just failed for whatever reason. They failed because either they were poorly executed or because someone else stole the idea first.
Or because we're just too lazy. It's a lot of work. Our dreams take a lot of work.
Because we're too lazy. Yes, they do.
Yeah, I mean...
But that's what we're going to talk about right now on this podcast.
Yeah, the first episode, we're going to explain...
All of our dumb ideas.
I know, we're going to talk about how we actually came up with the idea for DoorDash. What's like you actually... like, because it's great to have ideas, right? But when you actually look at like what goes into making these ideas happen, you're like, I'll just wait for someone else to figure it out.
Right. It's a good idea.
It was
but
a
then
great
you gotta
idea.
get up.
And
right, yeah.
I'm not an app developer,
Who do you call? But I feel what we should do is I'm going to tell my version of the story first or whatever, and then you could tell because I'm sure we have different versions of the story, but at some point they kind of diagram. So much wrong with my remembering of it, but I know I've got like the crux of it, the basis.
Half the time.
Yes. Half the time. That's very nice of you. That's very nice of you saying half the time. I guess the other half would be when I was unconscious. But
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So I was pretty drunk most of the time. But now I'm pretty sober. So
yeah, I mean, me too.
We're gonna talk about for like the next 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll amp it up. You'll see my speech will start to slur as this goes on. No, I'm kidding. It's too early for that.
I know, right?
But
your wife comes home. She's like,
guess,
"What the fuck?" You're like, "Ooh."
I told you I was gonna be recording. But yeah,
all I wanted to buy was some weed, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yeah. Oh man, I gotta check on my dog, man.
No, I was thinking about the ecstasy when you came to class and you wanted to buy some weed, and the guy's like,
yeah.
I got ecstasy.
I do have. Wow. Okay.
That's not.
Hey, it's cold outside. Can I borrow a jacket? No, but I do have some socks, man. No, it's not the same thing. Okay, all right, you were saying something about the class that we were.
Oh my God, I know. And then that class happened to be learning about something with, I forget what he was teaching us, but he was playing this like EDM song.
Yeah.
And you rolled up to me and Clarissa were like, dude, I'm so glad I didn't take that ecstasy.
Yeah. It was Reason. He was showing us Reason, and he was showing us like how to do transitions and builds to make the song even more impactful and fucking dance ready.
Really long build-ups and disappointing drops. Really long build-ups and disappointing drops.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just came into the classroom. And it was just
We
like
were late
there
as
was like a
fuck.
smoke machine going off.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a smoke machine going on. He's just like the bassiest bass ever.
I know.
That
And
was
then
an intense.
it was very like intense.
Yes,
It's
like a
been
camping
so
trip or
long.
a circus, whichever one.
Yeah, under
Yeah,
the
it's been
big
a while
tent.
since I've used that one.
Me too. I
Yeah,
haven't used that one in forever. But anyway,
yeah. It's good.
so
It's time to bring it back.
it is time. Okay, so
All
tell
right, so you want me
your
to go ahead
side
and
of the
start
DoorDash
off.
story.
All right, so this is my side of the DoorDash story, and also I was thinking it'd be cool, kind of at the end of it, at the end of all these tales, if we both discuss whether we think we'd be, and in reality, if we were clever enough to pull this off, or if we were just too lazy. And I'll explain my answer at the end of it, but but okay, so my side of the DoorDash story is and I can't even say I came up with this idea myself. It was one of those things. I was still in the Navy, and it was like 2011ish, right? And it was one of those things where I'm just sitting around with some friends, and we're like a 30 pack deep, which sounds like a lot, but there's like four of us. So that means like 7 to 8 beers each, right? And
So
you're at
a
that point where you're
lot.
too drunk to drive anywhere. Yeah, but it's the point where you're too okay for some 20 somethings and
I
in the
know, I
Navy.
know, I
That's not a
know.
lot.
I
So
know, I
so
know.
yeah, but the point is it's enough to get you drunk. It's enough where you shouldn't be driving anywhere, but definitely enough where you're like, this is no way to end a Friday night, right? However, we're responsible, so and it's one of those things where you start spitballing ideas like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if? And then so that's kind of how the idea spawned of wouldn't it be cool if there was a number you could call and you could give them your order for alcohol, food, whatever, and then they deliver it to you. Right. Now, fast forward to when you and I are living together, and this is about a year and a half later. We're actually audio students, and we're actually taking the business. We're taking business courses. Fast forward to when you and I are living together, and again, there was a McDonald's. We were drunk as fuck, right? And there was a McDonald's, or I remember there was a McDonald's that was like the only thing that was open around that time. So we would go to McDonald's. But this day we were like, that's so far to get there.
Well,
And
we
then
didn't
that's when
want
that
to lose
idea
our
kind of
prime
popped up
real
again.
estate because remember I had a
Right.
prime
Also,
parking. Yeah, I had a prime parking
that
spot.
is a good point.
That's
That's a good
also we
point. Our
didn't.
parking in
Yeah,
front of that apartment was very terrible. And if you got lucky enough to get a spot in the front, you weren't losing it. You weren't leaving until you had to leave.
I
And
know.
McDonald's was not a had to leave kind of situation. So that's when the idea started spitballing even further. And then that's when we started actually coming up with like some specifics. Because like I said before, the idea just kind of like, hey, that'd be cool if that was a thing that happened. And that was a completely too lazy at that point to
We're
even,
like,
further. That was just, hey, that'd be cool if like, it'd be cool if we had flying cars too. But it was one of those ideas that kept kind of growing and growing. It started off in my mind. It started off as just like a something that we just kind of got spoken into existence, and we're like that'd be cool. And then once I started
mhm.
hanging out with you, we started talking. It wasn't just a 1 day thing. It was something that we talked. We
Oh
every
yeah,
time
we
we'd get
talked about
drunk,
it all the time.
pretty
Yeah, we
much
talked about it all that we planned it
once, yeah,
out. Yeah.
and it
Oh
kept
yeah.
growing and growing
Uh,
and growing, and it started off from
yeah.
just like that'd be a cool idea to like we started getting into specifics, and I mean like I remember you had some like stuff written down in a business plan and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember it just being like a winged. I remember
No, I
you
did.
did
I
do a
did.
little bit of planning if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I did. And that's when I realized
But then
this
I
is
actually
way
looked
too
so
big of an idea for I was just really
right.
overwhelmed by it. It was really overwhelming.
So I looked it up. I looked it up just so I could see like how close we really were. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call too lazy on this one because I looked it up and actually DoorDash did start the same year that you and I were talking about it. That's when they got founded. It was on 2013, the year that we were living together. That's when they started. And I looked who did it and what they put into it. And yeah, we were too lazy. And there was like a bunch of like Stanford, graduates who were
People are way
like
smarter
dot
than us.
com, like yeah, people who are way smarter and like knew how to do all the stuff and like we're probably like not getting drunk where they came with the idea where like we're like in business meetings and
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like so
Yeah.
like yeah,
They were art
it was a
students.
cool idea. Right. They were art students for like who winged a business idea on a Friday afternoon. No, they
I
actually had
know.
like real business business plans. They probably
business
like
acumen.
did a thesis on it. Right. Yeah, exactly. They probably had a thesis on it and hypothesized
Because
and
we
business
started
marketing and
getting
yeah.
because we started getting serious about it because we were talking about the guys who came up with YouTube and they sold it to Google
Yeah.
and made hundreds
For
of millions of
billions.
dollars.
Yeah.
And that's what I was like. I was like, dude, I don't
Billions.
want to run this app. I just want to come up with this
Uh
idea and sell it, you know? And we could have done
yeah.
that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but no, we were nowhere near
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
shit.
We if we had really put our minds to it and both of us weren't uh alcoholics, different levels of raging, but both of us were kind of alcoholics.
Alcoholic stoners. Oh yeah, total alcoholics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
completely.
then possibly we could have pitched it to somebody who would have mattered to, and it could have gone off the ground.
Because
But yeah,
everybody we
we're way
pitched
too
it
lazy
to
to
is
pull that
just
off,
like
dude.
us.
Right. Everyone we pitched it to, I kept hearing, man, that's a fucking dope idea. That's a great idea. Dude, no way. That's a great like everyone was
Oh yeah,
on
everybody
board,
loved it.
but
Yeah,
also
they all loved it.
every, everyone was on board while they had a drink in their hand. So like, it wasn't the best area.
I know it wasn't I wasn't our target. Well, it was kind of our target audience, but after the fact,
Yeah.
after it was already
Right. It was our
those are
target
like
audience
those
to
are like the
sell.
download our app kind of thing. Once it's already made.
Exactly. Those are the ones like once everything's done, we tell them about it and they use it. But we had
Exactly.
to not helping us launch the app though, not the crowd.
Yeah, not the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah, we kind of
so
misfired
definitely
on that one.
clever, right?
Clever,
Clever, but definitely
too
too lazy.
lazy.
And then I want to come up with a drop where it's like too lazy,
I know, but okay.
too lazy.
Yeah, do
I'm
whatever
sorry,
you want
go
on
ahead.
that.
But boom, 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 boom. That's just like a terrible drum roll. Or we could have like the just throw in that Phil Collins
No, please. I know,
for no reason.
No, I was gonna say, please sample me going boo 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 boo, and then you could add that.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, just a terrible sample of you. Overproduced sample of
Oh
you.
yeah,
Boom, boom, boom.
I know, but you have to make sure
A lot
to
of
have
reverb.
a gate that will make it even more punchy.
Right, yeah. You don't want to have that just go on too long. The reverb tail too long.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. That's audio student talk right there.
But
Right. There's going to be a lot of editing in your future.
Oh, I know. I edit the other podcasts. I don't mind editing this one. I'm used to it. Plus I say a lot of stupid shit, so I need to edit that out. So I like to be in control of the editing.
Right.
I like to minimize the stupid shit that comes out of my mouth as much as I can. Some stuff just can't be
So it's just
helped.
going to be like me talking.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'm just kidding.
But in the other podcast, even if it makes me sound stupid, I'll keep jokes in there because you gotta sacrifice your brains for the joke, If the joke's good,
No, for sure. Yeah. And then
stay.
that also makes it feel more real. Yeah, it makes it feel more real and more authentic.
Yeah.
You don't want to have
Well,
where it sounds
like
super
cuts
heavily
and
edited and you're like,
well, I mean, cuts and clicks and all that shit. I don't mind that because, sometimes the audio's rough, so you got to just do what you got to do, work with what you work with.
right.
But I don't mind that. It's just like, editing down stuff, making it sound coherent. Like I take out filler words sometimes and like the uhs and the ums, and sometimes if there's too many likes or stuttering, I'll edit that out too. And so
Right.
it sounds smooth, which is cool. And
Dude, that is
sometimes you
such a
will get pops and clicks, but it's just whatever.
Of course. I've noticed that's such a the thing of our generation saying like
Oh my God,
you'll
I
even
know.
see you'll even see like people I just did it right now. You'll see people giving like talking about a murder or something like that, and they're like with gray hairs, and then they'll to throw likes in there so many
Uh-huh.
times. You're like, you were born in the fucking 80s. You were born in the late 80s. Shut up. I know
No,
where you're from.
right? Like yeah, see, there it is. Sometimes I don't even
That can't help
realize
it,
how
dude.
much, yeah,
Can't help it.
I don't even realize how much I do it. That's the problem. Ugh. And
Neither do
then
I, man. And until I
the
hear
other one is when
yeah,
you're
go ahead.
talking about what people are saying and you go, and then they're all, and then they're like, and then they're all, and then I'm all,
Yeah,
and then I'm like, yeah.
yeah.
Ugh. My
I
dad
wonder
always made fun of me.
what put that into our. I wonder what put that into our vernacular. I guess you'd say.
But just The
What's our
fucking
lexicon,
80s.
if
Yeah,
you
our
will?
lexicon.
It was, yeah. Is it the night? No, I feel it was more of a '90s thing, right? Era.
It could be. It could be.
I mean, I feel
Because the Valley
Pogs and
Girl,
like
the Valley Girl
right,
shit, I don't
right.
know.
Clueless was that feels like correct. Like
I
totally
know,
like
but like
right,
was
right,
around
right.
it. Like was around way more, I think, way before that. Like Clueless
Really,
was the mid 90s. Yeah. I feel like it was
I feel like that's
way.
that's what brought it to prominence, though.
Yeah,
I don't know. Who knows? Who knows?
we could
Who
do
knows? We're
research.
gonna that's we're gonna do some research. We're gonna do a lot of research. I do have some stories that I'm gonna bring to the table in further podcasts. I want to do some more, but I've got some good ones
We should bust out the
in the
list.
horizon. We should. Do you still have it?
I do.
Well, who am I? Why am I even asking?
I
That's a
know. Let me.
stupid question. Of course, you still have it. I think
Yeah.
you should just explain the list since you're the one.
Who kept it?
Yeah, exactly. You're the one. Yeah, it's your that's your thing. You kept it for over a decade. So yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, folks, the list is something that we came up with. Actually, something I started documenting over the years. It's just stupid shit, really good ideas, funny quotes, verbatim, and yeah, it's mainly just funny words and phrases that we mess up. And so we kept track of it, and we're about to, yeah, go
And I
over it.
think also too throughout the show we're gonna add we're gonna have more than one list. We're gonna have several lists that just come up of lists that we've made up. But it's also gonna be the same kind of idea, just funny stuff
Funny stuff, funny
that we fucked up.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah, funny
words that we're
quotes.
trying to say one way and then it didn't come out the way we thought we're trying to say it.
Yeah. It's on
All
my
right.
phone. It's on my phone, but for some reason it's not on my computer. I don't know why. I may
Uh,
have to have the setting. Oh my God. Garbage board, Step Guys.
yeah, that one.
If Hardy and I did a podcast, it would be called Step Guys. Definitely.
Step
Cole,
guys.
Tight Turner,
Step guys.
Subdiversion. The grandfather movie. That one was one you said. I remember that. Remember
What was
that?
that one even about?
The Godfather. You're like, remember that grandfather movie?
Oh.
Laser
Have
Trippers.
you seen all of those by the way? Did
Yeah,
you ever watch the
dude.
third one?
Yeah. I watched all of
How'd you
them.
feel about the third one?
It was cool. I
How'd you feel
mean,
about the third one?
it was cool. I mean, it wasn't anywhere near as good as the others, but
Right,
I didn't not like
right,
it. I thought it was a
right,
good continuation of the story. Because you do want more, and so
right.
they gave you more.
True.
But I think the best one
Yeah,
was.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I wasn't around. Obviously, we weren't around for the first two to come out.
Mhm.
So I didn't have. I didn't. We didn't feel the impact of them coming out. So I don't know if my parents talk about it a little bit different. Comparing the first two to the third, I saw them kind of all around the same times, and
Yeah, me
so the
too.
third
I
one
watched
was
all of them
cool
together.
too.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
right. So the third one was cool. I like the third one, and what's in Andy Garcia. I'm a fan.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. I know. I gotta go
so
back
there's
and watch
that.
those again. I've only seen that one time.
No, same here. And they're so long. It's like each movie's like it takes you got to like take an intermission. It's a 3 hour movie, so
Oh,
like
I
Lord of the
know,
Rings.
right?
But
Sashin, Slatonly, Schmishy. I just want to walk around in my G-string, baby. That was yours too.
sounds
Self-pretend,
about right.
self-pretentious
What?
subcaptions. And then you're like, he works for Star Wars.
Man,
We were talking about George Lucas and you couldn't remember his name. You're like, he works for Star Wars.
he, he does.
Ship shafter. Copywritten noodle juice.
Copyright noodle juice. That's a classic, dude.
That
That
should
was a
be the
classic.
name of this fucking podcast.
I would, dude. That's not bad. Copywritten noodle juice. What was that? What was even the? I remember saying it, but I don't remember like how we got there.
Because I was making ramen and I put hella seasonings in there and it changed the color, and of the
Yeah.
broth, but it tasted so good. And we were talking about how easy it would be if you just had bottles of it and you could just pour it in the pan and Okay, we're like, we gotta copyright this shit. So we were
Copywritten noodle juice. Yes. Okay. That was like the
because we
best
were like, well,
description.
no,
That was
wait,
the
wait,
best way to
wait.
get there.
No, because we were like, we'll call it
Yeah.
noodle juice. We're like, this is good noodle juice. They're like, but we gotta copyright this shit. So we're like, we'll trademark it. We're like, and then I think you said it or something. You're like, copywritten
Yeah.
noodle
Yeah.
juice or some shit. It was so fucking.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no. I for sure, that's one I can for sure take credit for. I remember saying it. I remember being excited about saying it. I remember we laughed. I
Yeah,
still remember
because
how we
it was
got
me.
there,
It was me, you, and Hardy. We were all hanging out, and I made ramen. Yeah, and I don't know, because I add hella seasonings to it. It tastes so fucking good. And yeah, in fact, you guys
Right.
wanted some too, and we were high as shit, just passionate about this
Yeah.
fucking noodle juice.
That sounds accurate.
Copywritten
Fucking
noodle
noodle
juice.
juice. Copyright this shit.
I know we gotta make shirts and shit. Yeah, that's what I remember. We're like gonna make shirts and hats. That's another
Right,
one of
right,
our
right, dude. We
ideas.
should.
That's another one of our fucking
That's
ideas.
another one. Yeah, dude, we've had so many. How many times have we said we got to make a shirt out of that, and then we
How
just
many
never did?
times do we
And they're
come up
not
with
hard.
brilliant ideas when we're high as shit?
Yeah,
That's what we got to do. We just got to get really high and just start brainstorming to like people who do
right,
stuff so they could take these ideas. We'll
right.
charge them. We'll charge these people that will be like we'll be, what are they called? Like a consultant.
Muse.
We'll be a,
Oh, that'll work too.
an inventor's consultant, and we'll get really high and
Right.
we'll wear like silk robes so that it'll look official and we'll sit in like a wingback chair and we'll just start brainstorming.
Steph robes and a beanbag and separate beanbag chairs, or do we have
No,
one
I
big?
said a wingback chair because it's more, although I like the beanbag chair, it could throw them off.
Yeah, I thought you said beanbag chairs. I was like silk robes, but then beanbag chairs. All right, we're going very classy, but comfortable as well. Can't-
I know, and then you go to like, smoke your pipe and look all serious, and then you fall back in a beanbag chair.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But then here's the thing with the robes and the beanbag chairs, we have to make sure to wear underwear because once we fall back down into that
God damn.
beanbag chair,
Oh God. Yeah, don't worry. I will.
it goes everywhere.
Okay.
I don't know, man. Like, have you ever worn a silk robe and thrown your ball sack on a beanbag chair with no underwear? It's pretty nice.
That's my favorite thing to do on a Saturday.
Yeah, when you're right, yeah, or a Sunday. It doesn't have to be a Saturday.
Yeah,
Either day of the weekend will do.
Copywritten noodle juice. That's one of our other ideas.
Yeah.
Although we just came
All
up
right.
with an idea live on the podcast. We're gonna be idea consultants.
Boom. That we just came up with an idea that we're never gonna do. Too clever. Too late. Too late.
Too late. Pew 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 pew.
Exactly.
Let's see. Sushi chef grinded. What are we going to Google? What we were laughing about, but we can't because I don't remember.
Right. There's so many. That's another one too. Have you ever? And this is a weird phenomenon for me. I'm not sure this ever happens to you, but have you ever been like trying to remember something so hard you just can't remember it, like a name of an actor or something like that, and then it's all day you can't remember, and then finally you get to a point where you're near your phone or something like that, and you get to a point where you're gonna find out. You can Google it or whatever, and right as you're about to find out, the name pops into your head. Does that ever
No,
happen to
the
you?
opposite
It
happens to me
all the
where
time.
I'm like
Really?
going to Google something and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna find this out. And then I grab my phone and then my brain goes blank. And I'm like, why am I holding my
And
phone?
you're like, why am I holding the phone? What are phones? What are we? Why are we here?
Have an existential crisis, a little
Yeah,
mini one
exactly.
as a treat.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. How old is Idris Elba? That's what it was. Anyway, but yeah, no, it happens to me all the time. Where like I won't be able to remember something, and as right as I'm about to find out for sure, it'll pop back into my head, which is basically like the universe being
That's
like, haha, you
fucking
just waste your time.
convenient.
It's weird. It's weird.
No,
Well, no, it
yeah.
sucks because I can't remember. Like when I have no other option, there's no way for me to find out when I'm like my phone's dead or like I don't have any signal or something like that. I
Oh,
can't
and
find
then
out.
it
But as
pops
soon as
in your
I get
head?
the opportunity to find,
Oh.
yes, that's what I'm saying. So like I won't. It's not
Oh, yeah.
convenient because I won't be like at work or something. Like I'm like, why can't I remember this? And but then like some kind of universal trick, I'll as I'm about to the screen's loading to tell me how old freaking Clive Davis was when he died or whatever. and then I'll remember all of a sudden.
You're like,
Right as
oh,
right as
cool,
the
thank you. I'm
screens.
glad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like I'm
thanks.
glad I went through all that.
What's
Thanks,
technology is
brain.
pointless. Yeah,
No,
you're right.
that's your
But it
brain.
happens
Your brain
all
has
the
a bigger
time.
sense of
Yeah,
humor than you do.
I know. Dick.
Who's really in
It's
charge?
Dick Gemini brain. Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, these are gonna get good. How many
Okay.
how much pumpkins could a pump chuck chuck if a pump chuck could chuck pumpkins? Then we have carpet monoxide detector. Oh, this is a good one. Vegan
Right.
cursor, noun. Wait, I meant to say that. I'll tell you what it means. I don't know how you'll type this. They don't eat meat or dairy, right? So a vegan cursor is someone who doesn't say bad words. That was yours.
Stupid.
I, I wrote
They
verbatim
abstain
what
from
you
cursing.
said.
Wow.
I know these
I was
fascinators.
I was listening to some this comedian, right? And he was like he was like, yeah, so I'm gonna tell you verbatim what my wife said. Verbatim. Now I have changed a few things to make myself sound better and her sound worse, but verbatim what she said. That's not verbatim.
Oh my God, I just was scanning the
Yeah.
list. And remember that one time when Ro was in the kitchen? She's like, whoa, is this frosting? Oh, wait, no, it's sour cream.
Yeah. Yeah, she was a weird one.
She
She was
was,
a weird one.
dude. Oh my God. He makes more dollars, you make more sense.
Classic.
Slashter baiting.
Was that is that when you like cut yourself or jerking it?
Yeah, that was
I
yours.
feel that's
Yeah,
what it has to be.
that was one of yours. Yeah. Um,
What were we doing? Why are we
we're fucking high as shit and we're
Yeah.
alcoholics in college. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is our normal fuckery. 2400 is Jack Bauer hour.
Yeah, it is.
Oh man. Uh,
It was so funny. My so there was this. We were scrolling through Netflix the other day, and she comes across this movie. It's called 60 Minutes, and my wife, and she was like, my wife, and then she was like, "Oh, is this a spinoff of the show 24?" 60 minutes.
Oh my God, that's fucking funny.
Oh,
Actually, 24 is a spinoff of 60 Minutes.
right. Yeah, they
It's
started
its
off with
first.
60 minutes.
Yeah. It was the origin story.
The first hour.
First hour. Oh man, that's funny.
Did you ever watch that show?
My dad did, but I never.
Oh,
Or
okay.
60 Minutes or Jack Bauer. No, just-
Oh, good. That I mean actually that answer probably worked for both. Either one.
because he watched both.
Yeah, same here. My parents watched like every Sunday morning. They would watch 60 Minutes or whatever it came on. Was it Sunday? Sundays at some
I
point.
think it was Sunday. Sunday at some point.
Yeah, Sunday at
How
some
about
point.
that? Join us
Yeah.
for 60 Minutes on Sunday.
Yeah. At some point. Yeah, but they'd watch the shit out of that show. And there was like a bunch of old people that talked.
That's so funny. I should add that to the list.
Join us for 60 Minutes, Sundays at some point.
Oh God. Okay. Anyway. Oh yeah, Maria. I know Anthony is serious because his hair parts down the middle.
Or if my glass is fogged up.
I know. I remember that shit too.
Serious time.
No, that's when you're baiting. You just got done crying.
Yeah. Because I mean, it is one of those things where the pleasure is the pain. So you got to cry.
Right. Dude, fucking remember Loogie spitting roommate dolls?
Sort of. Explain.
I just spit loogies all the time, and I don't know, that was one of your ideas.
Oh, okay. So I always say like, you know how like those.
Well,
back
and
in the
you did
80s,
too. Our fucking patio was
No, I know it
littered
was
with
disgusting. But remember how like those 80s dolls where you could like pull the string and they would say something?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
you know. So that was, I was
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it
like the
was
idea, like,
sound
yeah.
of me hawking a loogie.
Yeah, that was the idea.
Oh man, you just got Utah. That was
Scott, you Todd. What was that one?
I can't remember.
I
Hey,
gotta remember that.
what's the deal with elevators?
Okay.
Do you
Where's the rest?
Rwanda? No, that was yours. You always said that. Hey, what's the deal with elevators? Fucking Seinfeld over here.
Yeah, I forgot why though.
Yeah, well, because you're drunk.
That makes yeah, that'll clear up any questions.
Underbutt. I don't know what that one is.
I
George.
do, but I don't.
Me, I know you're not talking about my boobs because they're not there. And then you go, well, they
Right?
are in spirit.
Yeah, yeah,
And then Dawn Denver. Oh my God, I think about this one all the time. Remember when I came back because I was up here in Humboldt visiting, and then I came back and we were smoking in your room, and you're like, because we were missing the hammer for like ever. And you're like, oh, hey, I found the hammer. And I'm like, oh, yeah, did you lay it down?
yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
I think about that all the time, especially when I find my hammer, because it is literally the same hammer. It's been with me this entire time.
An actual hammer.
No, the one we used at the apartment, that little one that we used all the time with the gray handle. Trust me, it's the same one. I've had it for like 20 years.
I believe you for
Oh yeah.
20 years.
No, not like that long. Maybe like
I want to say, what really?
maybe like 15.
All right,
But
that's
I've
no
had it
better.
forever. I got it
A
in
long
Utah.
time.
Yeah, I got it in Utah as like a toolkit, whatever. And the toolkit came with me when I moved to California, and it's just been with me this whole time.
Boom.
Really cool. But
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah, really cool. So happy. I'm so happy for you and your long-lasting hammer romance.
I know, right? It's like my hammer, like Thor, you know?
Right, right. No one else. That's why I couldn't find it. I couldn't when I did find it, I couldn't even pick it up. So
There you
I had to get you. I had to get you to pick it up for me. So makes
go.
sense. It all makes sense.
Oh my God, it was so funny. Oh my God, I'm bi too, and I'm from. That was something you said. Oh my God. Hey man, look at that truck. It's so suspicious. Or you look at it, you're gonna miss the suspicious. And then oh my God, the Nazi regime reminds you of Babar.
Why? Why is that? I love Babar.
I do too. Yeah, I don't remember that whole conversation. I just saw that and that made me laugh my ass off. That's really funny. But I can't remember the context.
Babar or not? Was it a show or was it just the book? It was a show,
Babar.
right?
You watch
Yeah.
Babar.
Barbar. What was it? You know what? I won't
I
talk about
call
this anymore.
I call it Babar.
Yeah, I think
Babar.
that's what it was too. But
Babar,
I remember
Babar, Babar, Babar,
Babar.
Babar,
Yeah.
Babar, 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 Babar.
I could see the elephant dancing to that song.
It's spreading at the school like herpes, and you're like, wear a condom or you're gonna get Rick Moranis.
That was a that was a verb, a noun, an
It was
adjective.
a slur.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was it was
Those
everything.
dang, you got like the side hand, like those dang Rick Moranis is across the street. Am I right? You know, one of
That's
those.
so Rick Moranis.
All right.
I have so
What a
many
Rick
videos
Moranis.
of us just saying Rick Moranis, like drunk as fuck, can't even open
Yeah.
your eyes. My eyes. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Fucking Rick Moranis. That's so sad. He just got socked in the. I mean, I know this has been years, but he got just punched in the face walking down the street in New York.
He did?
You
Oh
ever
yeah,
hear,
I
you ever
heard
heard
about
about that?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was like I said, it's been like 5 years or so, but either way,
Yeah.
and what a great man. He just like he quit. He was on top of the world acting, and then he just like quit to raise his children.
I know. What a good
What
dude.
is right? And then he just gets punched in the face for walking down the street.
I
Have they
know.
not seen Ghostbusters
Or Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
or the one where he's the fly trap? Uh, Little Shop of Horrors,
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
or Spaceballs.
I was just gonna say our Spaceballs.
You never saw Little Shop of Horrors?
I never saw that
Oh
one.
man, it's all right. It's like a musical, and it's like a big Venus flytrap that like that's an alien or something. Anyway, it was a classic. It was definitely a one I saw as a kid and was like really liked it, but who knows if it still stands up today.
I know. Well, that's what's funny is you watch some of those ones that are like a classic and great, and then you realize, like, wow, this movie is really traumatizing.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
yeah,
dark
or
shit in here.
just not great. Like I was a huge fan of the Never Ending Story. Remember that movie?
Hmm.
Well, anyway, I saw it. I was a huge fan. I thought it was the greatest movie, and all the characters were really scary and well done. Anyway, I saw it like when I was like 21. I found a copy for like $5, and I was super excited. And I like made a night of it. Got some wine. And anyway, I watched it.
I thought you said I did some lines.
Did some lines. Got some wine. Did some made a night of it, dude. It's exciting.
I
And
actually came home to that from school. I was like, what are you doing? I see
you don't
a
remember
rolled
that
up,
day? Yeah, you
I was
remember that day.
fucking rolled up dollar on the table. I was like, what the fuck
Oh
are you
no,
guys?
it was a $50 bill because a hundred was too decadent, but I still wanted to have some class. So it was a $50 bill. No, but yeah, anyway, I saw it and then it was
They're like
terribly
in there
disappointing.
watching movies in the dark.
It's better this way. I could feel the actors. No, but
Anyways,
anyway, like it was a terrible again, I saw it, watched it, and it was not good. Have you seen it recently or at all in your adult years? It's not
no.
good. It was terrible. I think everything's very 80s,
You know what? That's how I felt about Batman the Animated Series. I thought that show was so fucking dope
Oh
as a
my
kid. I
God, dude.
didn't miss
Same
an
page.
episode. I like we came
Same
home from school, we
page.
watched the old Batman from the 60s and then they played the animated series one
Right.
and
And
we
it had the
watched them
cool
both.
music
Oh
and they were
yeah.
so good. All the
It was
characters were so
so
good.
good. Yeah. And so when Max
Uh-huh.
was a kid, I was like, dude,
Mm-hmm.
we were at
Mm-hmm.
Blockbuster. I was like, dude, I saw it. I was like, we got to rent this. You'll love
Mm-hmm.
it. I was like, let's watch
Mm-hmm.
it. And so we get a pizza, we get snacks
Mm-hmm.
and candy, whatever. And we put it on. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I was like,
Yeah, it
this is
sucked, dude.
so dumb.
It
It did
sucked.
not hold up.
It
Although
didn't.
Saved by the Bell held up. I remember when we watched it, the first time I watched it since I was a kid was when we were roommates,
Right.
and I thought it was the funniest shit. I thought it was
You know, it
funnier
still held up.
now than when it was when I watched it on the air.
Right, because we watched it on the air through like kid eyes, and now we can watch it through like nostalgic adult eyes,
Oh
and
yeah,
yeah,
and you get
it did
the
hold up.
jokes are way more funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you get them. You guys as a kid, as a 8-year-old or whatever, I wasn't getting some of those jokes
Nope.
that I totally understand now. But Batman, yeah, that was one of those ones that I remember it being just the shit. I remember I had toys and like I made friends because of that show. Like it was an amazing show. And then I did see it again as an adult, really excited, and I couldn't even get through an episode
Oh yeah,
because
it was so
it was just so
stupid. It was
disappointing. Yeah, it was
so
just like I was
stupid.
like, man, I
Yeah.
used to love this. I used to love this.
Hmm.
What the
I
hell's
know.
wrong
I
with me?
thought it was so brilliant and edgy and
Yeah,
so dark and it was so
yeah.
good.
But the the animated movies are pretty good though. Still, those have stood up to the test.
Oh yeah, I'll have to watch those.
Yeah, some of the anime. Yeah, I've watched some of the animated ones, and they're actually pretty. And like the guy who did the voice of Batman Mark Hamill did the Joker for years.
Oh yeah, Max was telling me about those. I gotta watch
Yeah,
those.
those are not bad. But yeah, the Batman animated series, the WB one. Yeah,
Man, Mark Hamill, that actor really, he bugs the shit out of me. I
Luke
can't handle him.
Skywalker.
Oh yeah, can't handle him. He's just this over actor. He's so like, oh God.
He is. Oh, but that's why he works so well as a voice actor though. Like he
I
does
bet. Yeah,
well.
oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
bet.
for the
Yeah,
Joker as a Joker and as like characters like that, he does a great job, and you can't tell
that
it's
makes
Mark
sense.
Hamill.
Yeah, that
But
makes
yeah, as an
sense.
actor, I agree he is kind of
He's just too,
uh over the top.
he's like that fucking Creed lead singer. That guy's over the top when he does his shit. Or like what's the guy that oh shit, Jared Leto, his fucking band. He is way over the top too. Like he drives me insane. Every music video is the same. He's just epically running through the city. Either like one video it's bikes, the next video it's rollerblades, one
Yeah.
video it's skateboards, but they're all kids going through the city. And they're all just epically, this is so great. We're the new generation. And it's just like, shut up. Find a new
Right.
concept. Call us.
Yeah.
We'll come up with your new concept.
Yeah. We'll show up in our robes and our inflatable beanbag chairs.
Chairs. And we'll promise you'll wear underwear.
Right. Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But one step at a time here. We're giving you good ideas. Avert your eyes, okay?
Yeah, have some class.
Yeah, yeah. Look, our ideas and eyes are up here, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, but no, I heard Jared Leto. Man, I remember the first time. Little quick Jared Leto story. I remember the first time I saw him. It was in this movie called Urban Legends. You ever seen that
Oh
movie?
yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah.
It was a
I
It
love
was a
him as an actor. I think he's a
yeah,
great
yeah.
actor. Yeah.
Well, no, I remember I saw him as a 13-year-old straight boy.
Back when you were
And-
straight.
yeah, back then, back when I was yeah, and when I was still finding myself, and I gotta say, I almost like he was gorgeous when I first saw him. I was like,
Oh,
wow,
did you slash
that's a
bait to him?
I did. I was like, man, no, I was one of those ones like I remember. I know you when you were a girl and you saw like
I'm
some chick
still a girl.
when you were a little girl,
I know,
a
I'm just
young
playing.
girl, and you saw a girl and you're
I'm
like,
still
man,
a woman, okay?
yeah, the testosterone hasn't kicked y'all fully in.
I
But
got
yeah,
off that now. I'm a
but anyway,
girl again.
yeah, but you're like, oh, I just like, how do I want to look like her? Like I want to do my hair like her and or whatever.
Mhm.
Kind of like we're
Oh yeah,
more
yeah,
like envious of him, not like how to want to fuck him or anything. But yes, I thought he was so pretty. And then like
Right.
he's a great looking actor, right? We'll for the podcast we'll say that. And anyway, so he's a great looking guy. But then I started hearing all this weird. Did you ever see that movie Dallas Buyers Club too? By the way,
Oh, it sounds familiar. I
it's
think I've
incredible.
seen it. I think I've seen it. Because
He's
it does sound
it's Matthew
familiar.
McConaughey. It's Matthew McConaughey. He's like a
Then I've
Texas
seen
guy.
it. Yeah, then
Gets
I've seen
AIDS.
it.
If
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's in it, then
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
yeah, and then Jared Leto plays like a transsexual, kills it, does a great job. But then I started hearing all this stuff about how he's like a weirdo with like underage girls, and he's like stalked few underage girls and stuff like that.
Jesus.
And he like and he's definitely like one of those people that like everyone says that he's like if anyone drinks children's blood, you know what I mean?
Maybe that's why he's got all the kids running through the streets. So
Right,
he could like, let's
exactly.
take you down underneath
It's
these
all
tunnels,
it's all
kids.
coming
We're
full
going in
circle.
the
It's in
tunnels.
plain sight. He's grooming these
Exactly.
children, running them into the yeah.
Because he's
In
got
plain
that
sight,
fucking
Thomas.
savior complex. You could totally
Right.
see
He
it in
totally
his
has that
fucking, yeah.
Jesus
Mhm.
or did you ever see this thing? It was called Twin Flames on it was like on Netflix or something like that. But it was
Oh,
this
I've seen
documentary.
that stupid. Yeah, I
Right.
never watched it, but I've
Right.
seen the thumbnail for it. Yeah.
Right. Well, one of the guys, like he's like the kind of basic cult leader. And there's one point where he looks kind of just like Jared Leto does, kind of like right now. And he starts saying, like, look at me and compare pictures of me, pictures of Jesus,
Oh
which are
my
like,
God.
drawings of Jesus. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I'm Jesus. I'm basically the new Jesus. And I kind of feel like, and he looks like just like Jared Leto, same hair, same, they're both going for the same, like, hey, I'm basically Jesus, right?
Oh my
I look
God.
like him. Interesting.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Are you you smoking your little pipe? Are you sitting in your beanbag chair right now?
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. It's not technically a beanbag chair. It's filled with lentils. So, I mean, technically they're not beans, but
Lentils? Are you
Yeah.
Jewish? It's your Jewish
Yeah.
chair.
yeah, it's a kosher chair.
Well, then don't get your wiener on it.
yeah. No pork on this kosher chair. I don't know. That was like a New York accent, but failed terribly.
That's a horrible one.
Forget about it. Forget about the beanbag chair.
You sound
All right.
Jamaican as
I know.
The South will rise again, man.
Hail Hitler, man.
Oh, but remember, I can't do a Latin accent. It just comes out
No.
Russian. Like I just sound Russian, like fucking Inigo Montoya shit.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it sounded very bleak. It sounded very
Hello.
bleak.
I think it sounds legit. Hello.
Yeah, that happens. But it happens.
Well, remember that one time Kayla and I did that northern accent until you made your ears bleed.
I do. That was not too
We
bad
were
though.
sitting on both sides of you, and you were like, I'm going outside. Like went outside to smoke.
Yeah. You followed me. Yeah.
Yeah, we followed you.
guys
Totally, duh.
Yeah. Because you guys are sweet like that. Sweet and caring.
Like, oh, Anthony. Oh God, I gotta do that accent better.
You know what? Practice that, and then next episode.
Well, no, I can do it. I was doing it the other day, but my brain is stuck in Russia right now.
Like if I watch 10 minutes of The Sopranos, I can do the New York's accent pretty well, but just my natural Jamaican roots always come out, dude. I just can't help it. It just I'm on.
Like, hey, you talking to me?
Yeah, boy.
Dude, there was one time I was at a show. I can't remember. It was like one of the, when the guys, like Dave's band and Ramiro's band, all them used to play all the time. Like, I was at one of the shows and I was drunk as shit. And I think I was there with Hardy and Ricky. And we were all talking in accents, and I was doing my East Coast accent and I was outside smoking. I was talking to this random dude. And he was like, oh, yeah, you from Jersey? And I was like, oh, dude thinks I'm from Jersey, dog. Actually, no, I'm from Utah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that actually wasn't a bad.
I could do Jersey, dude. I do, sometimes my Jersey guy sounds a little dumb. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
No, sometimes that's like the only way to play the Jersey accent. You got to play it dumb.
But I don't know, guy. I feel like maybe he's like 300 pounds.
Right.
He's like balding.
He's currently eating a sandwich.
A balding CPA.
He has a meatball sub in his hand. Some stains on his shirt.
Dude, I used to do this killer, like one of my characters, Estelle. She's awesome. And I talked about her on my other podcast and I fucking murdered the accent because I don't smoke anymore. I can't do Estelle. She's like this. She has this really like raspy voice and stuff,
right. It's like
I can't
sisters from The Simpsons.
Yeah, and I can't do her voice that well anymore because I don't like when I smoked and like a pack a day. Oh yeah, her voice it was almost my natural voice.
Didn't even have to try.
Nope, didn't even have to reach in the back pocket. It was right there in the front.
Nice.
Clever. It was clever. That was interesting.
Yeah. This podcast is not just funny. Sometimes it's informative.
It's informative, yes. Yeah. Very informative.
Yeah. Well, sometimes on Sunday. No, that's not it. Some days on Sunday. Sundays at some time. We'll figure it out.
No, it's Sundays at some point.
All right. Sundays at some point. There you go.
I'm keeping all of that in. Sunday, sometime on Sunday.
I was getting the S's. The S's were there.
And then you're like, we'll work it out. I'm like,
Sunday.
this is Sunday.
Sundays.